Hello everyone, this is James Shore with another test-driven JavaScript video. I'm recording this on August 21st, 2012. So I was thinking about this, and our first minimum marketable feature is the marketing homepage. Now, just as a quick reminder, a minimum marketable feature is the smallest possible thing that we can release to the public that they would care about, that they would pay money for, or they would, it would attract attention or something like that. And this first MMF, marketing homepage, seems like a good minimum marketable feature. It doesn't really have any value. Nobody's going to pay for it, but it starts establishing the brand of WeWikiPaint in the world. So, and the trick with the MMF is to make it as small as possible. And I often find that when I first conceive an MMF, I imagine it being much bigger than it needs to be. And that's exactly what happened here with WeWikiPaint. I promise I didn't do this on purpose. It's just, this is what normally happens. We don't need to support, we've got a Hello World server, that's done. We don't need to do any browser testing on the client other than just, a little exploratory testing to make sure that we understand how the serving works. So we don't need to do that. Similar for multiple browsers, if we're just doing a homepage, all we need is just HTML, and we understand how that works. So I think what we need to do now is actually come up with the stories that will allow us to really finish this. So obviously we need to serve a file. So that's more of a story than an engineering task. That's something that we could do and then show progress to a non-programmer, and they'd be able to recognize that. And I think we can do that as a one file homepage. So no CSS, separate CSS file, just a single file. That would be nice and simple. We also, I think, would need to serve 404 errors for everything else. And we'll need marketing copy. And we need to host this. So we need to deploy. Or to use less programmery speak, we need to publish to the internet. So I think if we finish all those user stories, then we'll have finished this first MMF. Now, I'm not sure we want to do all this. I know some of you are really eager for us to start testing client-side stuff, and that's not going to come until this MMF. So we might skip the publish to internet step just because I know some of you are really eager to get this going. And this one I'll probably do offline. And this one we might wait on as well. But let me know in the comments if you're eager for us to move on to client-side stuff, or if you'd like to see all this get through. If we actually get to publishing to internet, we're going to put this out. I own the domain, wewikipaint.com. We are going to put this out on the internet for real and automate all that. So if that's something that's interesting to you, I'll happily do it. If not, then we can move on to the client-side stuff. But if we do this, then we really do have a vertical slice. We have a complete feature done that we can, we can show to the world. So, and that will really have established a lot of important things. It establishes our build script. It will establish our deployment script, which is important and non-trivial. And of course, it establishes testing and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking now as our plan to get this first MMF done. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. So for our engineering task here, I think what we need to do is just, serve a file. That's really as simple as it gets. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, we've got our tests here that the server returns hello world. Now what we need to do, I think, so this starts to get into some interesting design questions. We've got a really simple server. What we want to do is force ourselves to write some file management code right here. And maybe what we should do is do another little spike. Yeah, let's do another little spike just so that we understand how this works. So we need to say let's copy these up to here. So that's our to-do. We'll spike serving a file, and then we'll TDD file serving. We might have some design work to do as well. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Okay, so again, a spike is just a little bit of code to prove that we know how to do something. And what we want to do here, this spike demonstrates how to serve a static file. So that's where we're going to start. Let's go into our spikes directory. If we run this, yeah, our server starts, and then we can go to okay. So what we want to do is we'll just write a little file that says that. All right. So, and if we open that, that should work. Yeah. Okay, so now what we need to do is have Node serve it, and as I recall, now we've got read file here, but I think we've also got read. Yeah. You know, I'm going to pause, see if there's an obvious and easy way to do this, and be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. So this is fairly straightforward. The main thing to be careful of here is that HTTP is complicated, and we've been doing a lot of our own work here, but I think to really handle serving stuff well, we're going to want to depend on some third-party libraries. Now, the only reason I haven't done that yet is because I think doing some of this ourselves gives us more understanding of how Node works and how everything fits together, but we don't really want to replicate an entire, web server. We don't want to build our own static web server. People have spent years doing that sort of thing well, and that's not really what we want to do. So, but I think as a starting point, it will be helpful for us to do this, and then we will factor that out, and hopefully we can write our tests in such a way that that the code still, the tests still work, even though we change the implementation out from underneath them. So we're going to want the file system module, and we're going to say, let's read a file. In this case, what did we call that? File.html. We pass that a function, and this code is probably not correct. And then we'll want to, I think we can just say response.end data. Because I believe the way this works is it will only call the callback when all the data is received. So let's go ahead and try that, see what happens. Yeah, that looks like it's working perfectly. So if we modified our file, and then reload, it works. That's great. Okay. So that's really basic file serving in a spike. Now I think what we want to do is bring that over to our production code. And what we need to do is I think we can modify this test right here to say server serves. Well, I'm not sure how we're going to want to deal with this yet. Let's start out by saying server serves a file. Lint's not happy with our spike. Let's fix that. Okay, good. Okay, so I think that's a good spot to stop. I'll go ahead and check this in. And next time we will pick up, actually test drive this server serving a file and continue making progress. So thanks for watching, everybody. I will catch you next time.